After the surprising event at the end of Volume 12.5, and the release of the visual key and synopsis for the third-year arc, a lot of people believe it's impossible for Horikita to defeat Ayanokoji. After all, Ayanokoji is a nearly perfect human who is outstanding at physics and academics, while Horikita is just an ordinary girl who was always carried by him. Even after 2 years of development, it still seems impossible for Horikita to touch the realm of Ayanokoji. If we are using dinosaurs as the measurement, Ayanokoji is a T-Rex, while Horikita is just a velociraptor at best. However, that doesn't mean Velociraptor cannot beat a T-Rex. The history of mankind has already proven that even the strongest person could die in the hands of a weakling. No matter how strong Ayanokoji is, he is far from invincible. Let's take a look at how Ayanokoji might be able to meet his demise. If we look at Ayanokoji's record from his 2 years of high school, Ayanokoji's strongest power is his ability to always planning 10 steps ahead. No matter what kind of situation he was facing, or what kind of trouble might arise in the process, Ayanokoji always had a plan to counter all problems to make sure his plan would succeed, and he also always prepares for everything that might happen in the future. This ability is strongly supported by his keen observation and his heartless nature. Just like how Ayanokoji realized Horikita had bad health back in the island exam and didn't hesitate to take advantage of it, Ayanokoji could easily put every little detail in one piece and create a plan that a regular human wouldn't even dare to think about. However, as the story progresses, Ayanokoji realizes his limit. To achieve victory, he needs a lot of information. And since he is a socially awkward guy, he cannot gather information by himself, so he needs the tools that will do the job for him. And that's how he chose Karizawa K. Some of you might think Ayanokoji needs K because he didn't want to stand out, but Karizawa K's role was very crucial in Ayanokoji's success so he could make it this far. First, she is the leader of the girls in class, and second, she is a woman. K has the power to be intimate with the girls without getting called a creep, and that's how she could move the girls or gather information from them. It's something that is impossible for Ayanokoji even if he gets serious. Just like a smartphone that cannot function properly without internet connection, Ayanokoji's strategy usually relies on K's ability to pass the information to him, or how well K could act without gathering a suspicion. K's usefulness was shown clearly in the mixed training camp, where Ayanokoji could deduce what would happen from the information that K got from the girls' camp. If K wasn't there for him, it's impossible for Ayanokoji to know, even though it doesn't really impact him. Even when Yamochi gathered his classmates to expel Ayanokoji, it was thanks to K who told him so Ayanokoji could create a counterplan to expel Yamochi. If not for K, maybe Ayanokoji will never get a protection point. Not to mention if Sakayanagi really wanted to expel him in that exam, Ayanokoji would be doomed without K warning. It's true that Ayanokoji could get someone else to do it for him, but the number of students who could compete with K in her specialty could be counted with one hand. So, with this fact on the table, we could conclude that Ayanokoji's rate of success heavily relies on the people around him. He still acts as the mastermind, but even the biggest brain is useless without the nervous system. No matter how smart Ayanokoji is, he is still just a single person, while the special exam is always a class battle. And that's why it is not impossible to defeat Ayanokoji. Now that Ayanokoji has officially transferred class, all the tools that he had been collecting for the past 2 years are now unusable. Kushido, Hirado, Horikita, and Karizawa, no one will be willing to help him anymore. From my point of view, it feels like Ayanokoji intentionally weakens himself by letting go of everything he had built. He knows he is too strong, so he purposely enters an unfamiliar territory to balance the scale with the other classes. It's not like the former Class A are weak compared to the other classes, but so far they have only ever shown to excel in academics. Information gathering, physical ability, or any extracurricular like basketball or student council is still left unexplored. From what we have seen so far, Kido is the only one who can be relied on for physical ability, while Hashimoto was in charge of communication and information. However, after the recent event of Volume 12.5, Hashimoto already lost most of his connection. His ability to befriend everyone is worth praising, but now after Horikita class learns about his relationship with Mizuno, they will be very careful toward him. The students of Ryuwen class also know that Hashimoto was a traitor, so they will keep their mouths shut when they talk to him. And even in his own class, Hashimoto already lost his reputation. His only use now is to build a connection with underclassmen, and I doubt they will have a lot of exams that will involve underclassmen. Fortunately, the former Class A also has Morishita and Yamamura. Yamamura has a very weak presence. Even if she was standing in the middle of enemy territory, there is a chance they wouldn't be aware of her, and that makes her perfect to gather information. And then there is Morishita. She is a girl who doesn't understand the concept of personal space. She could surprisingly approach you and ask the most uncomfortable question without any change in her expression. Not to mention she is smart with high deductive skill. Even if her method is quite rough, she has no trouble connecting with everyone, and that will definitely become a huge asset. However, compared to Ayanokoji previous class, Class C still lacks in comparison. This is not a small problem. After all, they are already a third year, and the competition will become more tense than ever. It's not going to be a surprise if a friend could become an enemy, and one single mistake could destroy the entire class. Ayanokoji already made an enemy of his entire former class, so the relationship between the two classes will definitely become so sour. Fortunately, Ayanokoji already made a contract with Ichinose. Ayanokoji must have understood how big K's role was in his strategy, so he definitely needs someone to replace her, and Ichinose is clearly the best choice. She has even wider connections than K, and she is also trusted by everyone. If Ichinose supports Ayanokoji with all her might, Ayanokoji will definitely be unstoppable. If Ichinose stays by Ayanokoji's side, it is impossible for any class to defeat Ayanokoji. However, there is a clear line that separates Ayanokoji and Ichinose. No matter how crazy Ichinose is for Ayanokoji, she is still the leader of her class, and she is responsible for her entire classmates. They could cooperate with each other, but at the end, there is only one class that could graduate from Class A. If Horikita wants to defeat Ayanokoji, she needs to separate him from Ichinose. If she cannot do that, her dream to graduate from Class A will become just a mere dream. Just because Ayanokoji is currently in a weakened state, that doesn't mean Horikita could defeat her easily. With all due respect, Horikita is just a single velociraptor who tries to hunt a T-Rex. There is almost not a single area where Horikita could win against Ayanokoji. Fortunately, velociraptors are a species that live in groups, so they never hunt their prey alone. Ayanokoji already explained how Horikita could be worthy to face him back in Volume 6 Second Year Arc. Ayanokoji compares his existence with a training wheel on the bicycle. When the training wheel is gone, Horikita will undoubtedly fall. However, she will rise and start to move forward. And this time, she will be supported by all of her classmates. It's impossible for Horikita to defeat Ayanokoji alone, but Horikita will never be alone. Horikita needs her entire class, so she needs to make sure they will work together with her. If we look at the official colored illustration from Volume 1 Third Year Arc, she has already made her move and confronted Karizawa. Horikita is already walking on the right path, because Karizawa K will definitely become a very strong ally for her. She will also have Kushida, Sudo, Hirata, and probably Koenji who will support her. However, Horikita still has one crucial weakness, one thing that sets her apart from Ayanokoji. If Ayanokoji could achieve victory by planning 10 steps ahead and using heartless methods, Horikita cannot do the same, because she is not a heartless person. No matter how hard she tried to isolate herself in the past, she still found herself care for the people around her. Just like when she protected Kushida back in Volume 5 Second Year Arc, Horikita cannot set her personal feelings aside. Ayanokoji once asked Horikita what she would do if she could achieve victory by expelling Ibuki, but Horikita could not give him a proper answer. Even if she didn't admit it, she already considered Ibuki as her friend, and she could not let her go. Horikita feeling is normal, but if compared to Ayanokoji, that becomes a fatal weakness. Ayanokoji wouldn't hesitate to expel 10 or 20 friends of Horikita, so Horikita really needs to set her heart if she wants to achieve victory. She need to stop thinking that Ayanokoji is her friend, and she need to be ready to sacrifice her friend for the sake of the greater good. Or, maybe her feeling that doesn't want to sacrifice anyone will be the key to bring Ichinose to her side. If Horikita could bring Ichinose or Ryuin to her side, or even convince Ayanokoji classmates to betray him, Ayanokoji would end up alone. It's near impossible to defeat Ayanokoji with a straight method, so they must attack his weakness. Remove him from his ally, and he is already halfway to lose. Without a friend, without a lover, without even a single tool. Ayanokoji will end up just like when he was in the White Room, just a little kid who wanted to be free.